Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Northern Kentucky Spotlight Podcast, presented by CVG. I'm your host, Sarah Brookbank. Today on the podcast, we are joined by Melissa Bear of Bear Farms. She highlights the upcoming lavender season, which kicks off in June, and all of the events that the farm has to offer. Also on the podcast, we are joined by Vitale Buford of the Hardin Group, who talks about overcoming perfectionism and how they're helping empower leaders. Thank you to our podcast sponsors, CVG, our title sponsor, C-Crew Consulting, our digital sponsor, and our episode sponsor, Schneller Knockelman. Are you registered for investing in equity, building an inclusive business community? Our third annual DEI Summit, powered by Fifth Third Bank, is happening on Thursday, June 6th. The half-day event includes a keynote presentation, a panel discussion, and breakout sessions that will focus on important challenges and opportunities as we work to grow, attract, and retain diverse talent and build inclusive cultures that help grow a vibrant economy and thriving community. You can register for this event now at nkychamber.com/events. It's a great one that you won't want to miss out on. Now, let's go hear our business news roundup from Link NKY, meet our members of the week, hear from our sponsors, and I'll be back with this week's guests.
The Link NKY Business Roundup is sponsored by Payroll Partners. Business owners, CFOs, and HR pros just don't have time for hold times and hotlines. They need Payroll Partners. Welcome back to another Link NKY Weekly Business News Roundup. For Link NKY, I'm Noah Jones, here to fill you in on the business news of this past week. Let's begin. At a recent Covington Board of Commissioners meeting, attention returned to the issue of short-term rentals such as Airbnbs. The city provided an update on how these rentals affect historic and residential areas. Changes to the ordinances governing short-term rentals were proposed, including updates to density limits and appeal rights for licensing. These updates have been in the works since last year with input from various stakeholders. Many, including representatives from the Wallace Woods Neighborhood Association, support the proposed changes, which aim to strike a balance between allowing short-term rentals and preserving neighborhood integrity. One significant change is the establishment of limits on non-host occupied short-term rental units in specified areas. These changes are seen as beneficial for the community and aim to address past issues with the regulation of short-term rentals. Further discussions on this topic are scheduled for May 18th, allowing for public input. The Northern Kentucky Area Development District is a collaborative effort among 8 local leaders in 8 counties to address regional issues that transcend individual municipalities. It focuses on areas such as aging and disability services, local government services, workforce development, and housing. Funded primarily through state and federal grants with additional support from local sources, the NKY ADD acts as a facilitator for regional initiatives and provides direct services in various areas. Its board comprises county judges, executives, mayors, and citizen members who determine the district's priorities based on community needs. One recent initiative, NKY Works, focuses on workforce development to address challenges in early development education, career readiness, talent attraction, and employer engagement. Additionally, the district is increasingly involved in housing policy decisions, highlighted by a recent study indicating the need for a significant housing development to support economic growth within the region. Finally, children are tapping into entrepreneurship through markets like the Children's Entrepreneur Market. These markets, now spanning 24 states, including Ohio and Kentucky, offer children aged 5 to 17 a platform to sell their creations without adult interference. The goal is to provide real-world business experiences while fostering confidence and critical thinking. These markets, usually held alongside other events, draw substantial foot traffic, exposing children to authentic business transactions. Beyond one-off events, youth entrepreneurship programs in Northern Kentucky offer further opportunities for aspiring young entrepreneurs to explore their potential. With Northern Kentucky's condensed space and vibrant entrepreneurial ecosystem, it's an ideal place for children to kickstart their entrepreneurial journey. Well, that's going to be it for this week for your Link NKY Weekly Daily Business News Roundup. For Link NKY, I'm Noah Jones. Thank you for listening.
Why would you travel to England?
For football.
To go or not to go?
That is an easy question. To visit the land of Shakespeare.
To take in all the sights.
Authentic fish and chips.
To experience arts and culture.
2 words, British Open.
To visit my family.
Same reason I go anywhere. For a pint of beer. To start my trip through Europe.
Whatever your reason, there's no better time than now.
Ranking on Google Search and Maps is easy to understand, but hard to do. It requires constant effort and attention, uploading new photos, responding to Google reviews, writing weekly posts, and checking suggested updates. Google listing optimization takes experience and time, and there are no shortcuts. C-Crew gives your Google My Business account the steady, consistent attention it needs to be effective, optimizing, updating, and expanding critical content every single week. From local retail stores to large regional networks, C-Crew generates content, establishes benchmarks, and creates dramatic, measurable increases in engagement. So what can C-Crew do for your business? More calls, more clicks, more clients.
Congratulations to our members of the week. You can learn more about these businesses by following the Northern Kentucky Chamber on social media, where we will highlight one of these businesses each day. Now, let's meet our members of the week. The Decor Group of NKY is a full-service company providing an all-inclusive convenience to their clients through their 3 divisions: property maintenance, landscape lighting, and holiday decor. Children's Law Center is a nonprofit legal service center that protects the rights of children and youth so they can grow up in safe and healthy ways. The Ormsby is a life plan community coming to Fort Mitchell. They are an independent living community, but also have assisted living, skilled nursing and rehab, along with memory care, all on the same campus. Thriving Educator partners with school districts and organizations to improve youth mental health by equipping adults with simple tools to manage their own mental health and wellness while effectively responding to youth needs. Hi everyone, today I am joined by Melissa Bear of Bear Farms. You are one of the many owners of your family business. Welcome to the podcast.
Well, thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Yes, so let's jump right in. I love the story of your business. Tell us how you guys got started.
Well, my husband retired after about 35 years in the fire service. And I asked him what he wanted to be when he grew up, and he's always wanted to farm. And so we just started looking into that. And we also, in the meantime, had grandchildren. So in 2019, we had our first granddaughter, and both of our children went to North Kentucky University, settled up here, got married. So we knew this is where our grandchildren and our future was going to be. And so we decided to move, to find some land as close as we could. And we did find some in Walton, Verona area. And we built a barn, sold our house in an hour. It was during the COVID.
Oh my
so
goodness.
Yeah, it went like 1 hour. Our house was gone. We had nowhere to live. So we had a fifth wheel travel because my husband thought that's what we were going to do when he retired. But when the grandchildren come, we said, no, we don't want to be away, not miss a day of that. So we lived in the fifth wheel until we built a barn on the property and then lived in the barn in the fifth wheel for the majority of the time our house was being built. And we ordered the plants and did a lot of that. And during COVID, fifth wheels were very popular. So we sold that. And we actually, for the last month, lived in the barn itself in the back of a 1965 Chevy. So that was quite the adventure. And we lived and worked and showered and did everything right there. And so it was wonderful. Moving into the house was very special.
Yeah, I'm so sure. And so you guys are located in Verona. You guys are predominantly a lavender farm, but that's not all that you guys are, not all you do. So talk about everything that you guys have to offer. You've brought some products for us today.
Yeah, sure.
And your season's coming up soon.
I know. Lavender is very short. It's a very magical period of time in June. But we have 52 acres and lease 40, so we have a pretty nice size farm. And we do specialty hay for horses. Square bales is what a lot of, I call it pleasure owners have, right? They don't have tractors, so they have to hold it and do it with their hands. So we wanted to get into that and really focus on the people that have their pleasure horses. And so we do most of the farm in hay, which is also kind of nice because besides of the lavender fields, it's just green, beautiful grass. You know, I mean, it's just a great backdrop to the lavender field. And then the lavender, we have almost 2 acres of lavender, which is really nice. We have 11 different varieties. Wow. A lot of people don't realize there are different varieties. They just think it's lavender. But we actually have a culinary field that has 4 different varieties, and then we have, which is an English lavender. It's called angustifolia. So that is a culinary. You can actually cook with it, put it in your lattes. A lot of people are like, Starbucks is really big right now on their lavender lattes. Well, they probably don't put lavender in it, but it should be. That's what I make, some simple syrups. And then we have a whole field of French lavender, which is your really long stemmed ones. We do wreath making. You can come out and pick you an armful of lavender, and I show you how to make a wreath. We do wine making, and then we use mostly the oil producing ones in the French for our products. So it's amazing what this plant could do. It really surprised us, you know, when we picked lavender. I just thought it was beautiful, and I thought it would be fun for people to come and cut it, but it's so much more. It's so many medicinal properties that we didn't even realize until we got into it.
Yeah, that's incredible. So talk to us a little bit about that. You mentioned in your little form that you fill out for the podcast that lavender is more than just a flower. Yeah. Obviously, you've touched on a little bit of that already, but get us into it.
Yeah, it really is. Well, you know, it's known for its anti-anxiety properties. They say just walking through the field will reduce your blood pressure. Just walking through it.
I mean, I believe it.
Yes. And if you come to the farm, you'll experience it. I really try to keep it a very serene atmosphere, you know, very quiet and peaceful. And then, but besides anti-anxiety, it's analgesic. So it's a pain reliever. It's an anti-inflammatory. So it's good for any type of ailment. It's great for your skin. It's great for sleep. It's an insect repellent. We actually have an insect spray and an insect lotion. So it's a natural. You don't have anything unnatural. And all of our products, no artificial ingredients, no parabens. We do everything natural. And we partner with other Kentucky proud persons and other farms to kind of put stuff in our products. So.
Yeah, that is incredible. You guys have a pretty wide range. I mean, right here we've got a linen spray, you've got the beard oil. So tell us a little bit about the rest of the products that you offer.
Well, every product came from a customer either ask or need. Our very first product was for my father-in-law. He's 91, just turned 91 Sunday, and he had some shoulder problems and really difficulty using it, and at that age didn't want to have a lot of other things done. And so we worked, and we have as I said, it's an analgesic, an anti-inflammatory. We add it with the highest CBD that you can get, and it's like a superpower. Those two things combined. So that's one of our kind of more, I think, popular ones is that one. We ship it all over the country. And then we have the linen spray just to help you sleep, and the oils. We have the essential oils. One thing we learned is that in our products, we use what's called full spectrum. And that's the entire plant. So it's not just the flowers. And we don't distill it to the clear that you're used to seeing in an essential oil. That's great for your infusers and for smells, but you're losing a lot of those markers. So when you see our lavender oil, it's honestly a little brown, and the smell is a little different than the plant, but it's really, really good for you. So we put it in our sleep aids. I have this honey lavender glaze. You don't put it on your biscuits, although you could probably, but I put it on the bottom of my feet. And it helps at night with restless legs. And then in the mornings, like you had a pedicure. So anywhere on your skin, cuts, bruises, scars, eczema, it helps any type. And honey's a natural healer. So is lavender. Again, we've learned to complement it with things that just kind of make it a super, super product. Yeah. And then the beard, it's kind of funny. I make soaps and shampoo bars. And so one of our customers, Lee Richardson, he was using our shampoo bars to shave with. Because he shaved his head and had a big beard, right? And he's like, I'm having to shave all the time. We found out lavender helps grow and strengthen hair. So we did the shampoo bars. Everybody loved those, but he said, you need beard products now. So we do have Papa Bear. That's my husband on the products. He has a very long beard. So we do have the beard products because lavender is really good for your skin. Mm-hmm. So using those beard oils, people get itchy. It just helps them with the skin, helps them with shaving, and then it just smells wonderful. We added cedar wood and sandalwood to it. Well, so the men love it and the women love it.
I bet that sounds, I'm going to open that bottle before you leave. But so like I had mentioned, your farm season is coming up. You said it's a really brief period of time. And you guys offer a lot of event and programming. Yes. So tell us about that, what you guys have planned coming up for this season.
Yes. It's just the month of June. Last year I opened up the end of May, but you just never know with the weather. And I want the flowers to kind of be really beautiful. So they were just coming out. So we're going to start in June 6th. We're open for you pick, which means you can just come out and pick. bring a picnic lunch, a book. It's really just beautiful. Or just come out for 15 minutes and pick a bouquet. So that goes Thursday nights, Friday nights, and Saturdays. But then we also have every Thursday night, we have a class of some sort. So most of them is goat yoga. Everybody loves goat yoga. So we have a man bring out his goats from Green Good Earth. And he goes all over Cincinnati. They're little, tiny, very cute. So they come out and you do goat yoga, and then you get to pick lavender. For every event, you get your big bouquet of lavender to take home. We do wreath making, like I said, and wand making. I have some tea parties that honestly I'm just about sold out on completely. I'm going to have to probably set up a few more. I do have this year, for the first time, a princess tea party.
Oh my goodness
So it's
gracious.
on the 19th of June, and it's for a girl or princesses from age 4 to 10. So anybody that wants to be a princess for the day at that age, they're just going to have kind of their own little tea party, and we'll have face painting. They'll have little lavender wands, and then they can just enjoy themselves.
Yeah.
So that's really some of the big events that we have. I think I have a paint and pour, a lot of paint and pours, which people really enjoy. But it's just fun to come and check out. All the events are online at our website, and you can register for them, or just show up and just say, I want to pick some lavender.
Yeah. It sounds like you guys just have so many wonderful opportunities and options for people. Like you said, you're in that Verona area, Boone County, right near Grant County. So it's just really accessible and nice that you guys have this open area. And your Kentucky Proud products, we absolutely love that here. There are so many different things that you guys have to offer. And as you've been on this journey, obviously small business owners now, could you have imagined this before your husband retired?
No. It just shows you that, you can always dream big. And I tell you what, I think has been our biggest success is the networking and the partnering with other people. The small businesses in the Northern Kentucky area, lady that does truffles, a lady that does teas, they just welcomed us with open arms. We have 3 wineries within a mile of us, and they've just been wonderful too. Very good partners. They're always at our events and help us serve. And then we met Farm CBD out of Bedford, Kentucky. That really, we're 5 years ahead of where we wanted to be just because we made those connections, and we took a chance with it. And I tell you, UK and the Boone County Cooperative, don't be afraid to ask questions. We're first generation farmers. We did not know what we were doing, but we learned, and you can learn it even in your retirement age. Learn something totally new, and it's just it's wonderful. Like, I've been in the corporate world for most of my career, and I see the value that I provide to the corporation. But when I'm out at markets and I have people come up and said, this really helped me, or I really love your products, or my wife just loves them, it's just such a different feeling that I've never experienced before. Having my own business and products that people love is just, it's priceless.
Yeah, that's so wonderful. And for our viewers and listeners, they can get a sneak peek. You guys have some items that you just dropped off for the golf outing as well.
Yes.
So
2 big boxes.
If you guys are attending the golf outing, you will get to see some of the products. But Melissa, it has been so great to have you on to talk about the farm. Before I let you go, what else do people need to know?
That it's just take a chance if you're interested in starting your own business. Partner up with others, and then just come and see us at the farm. And I think we get a lot of people from the Cincinnati area, and it is a different experience, and it's a place to go and just relax and enjoy what nature has to offer. I think we forget about that sometimes. There's so many wonderful things that are right in our backyard that are good for us and will help us with a lot of the problems that we just need to don't forget about that and try and remember and come to the farm and visit us.
Yes. Well, Melissa, thank you so much for your time today. It's been a pleasure to have you on.
Well, thank you.
Hi, everyone. Today on the podcast, I am joined by Vitale Buford. Hardin, welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Sarah.
Yes, and you are the president and CEO of the Hardin Group. You do a lot of work with leaders. You've been very involved with the chamber recently. So I'm excited to have you on the podcast to talk a little bit more about your business. But let's jump right in. Tell us about the Hardin Group.
Yeah. So the Hardin Group is a leadership consulting business. We do workshops with companies, executive team development, strategic advisory, a lot of assessments, performance coaching. So anything having to do with workplace and leader performance, we do. We just do it in our own unique way.
Yeah, that sounds great. And tell us a little bit about the services. I know you kind of touched on that. So do organizations approach you? Do individuals approach you? How's it work?
Yeah. So typically, a leader within an organization will have seen me speak at a conference or word of mouth or referral, and will reach out to me just with what they're struggling with in the workplace. Maybe it's low trust. Maybe people are just have a fear of failure, a fear of making mistakes, team cohesion, performance, communication. There's just so many different issues that are showing up in the workplace. And in terms of one of the things that we specialize in or that sets us apart is we are experts in the area of perfectionism in the workplace and how perfectionism holds leaders back, how it really hinders workplace performance. And so when we talk about perfectionism, Sarah, we're talking about, perfectionism impacts 92% of people. And my research shows that 85% of workplaces struggle and have cultures of workplace perfectionism. So you're talking nearly all workplaces.
Yeah.
And that's actually, I've led 2 university research studies on the impact of perfectionism in the workplace. And that 85% statistic is up nearly 20% from 2020.
Wow.
So in 2020, my data showed that 66% of workplaces had cultures of perfectionism, and now it's 85%.
Yeah. And what do you think causes that, and how does that harm a workplace?
Yeah. So unrealistic expectations, lack of work-life balance, right? We tell our employees to be with their families and loved ones when they clock out at 6 p.m., but yeah, we're emailing them at 9 p.m.
Hmm.
Giving them all these, loading them up with all of these deadlines. People aren't having the crucial conversations and performance conversations in the workplace that they need to be having with their team members because they don't feel equipped to have it. People are procrastinating. They're not delegating. Like perfectionism impacts productivity by 61%.
Wow.
And then it impacts our ability to be innovative by 66%, right? Because there's that fear of failure, fear of making a mistake. And so people aren't thinking outside the box. They're kind of staying within their own perspective or, just sticking with the status quo. And one of the things that it majorly harms is trust and psychological safety.
Mm-hmm.
And we know that the number one indicator of a high performance team is psychological safety in the workplace. And psychological safety can't coexist with perfectionism. So for me, we do trainings, but a lot of things we do too are deeper assessments on how perfectionism is truly showing up in your workplace, how it's impacting trust culturally, how it's impacting engagement, productivity, innovation, and then creating programs and different initiatives to really start overcoming it. So it's really fun.
Yeah, that sounds like a really valuable asset for teams that are struggling, kind of feeling like they're stuck in that rut of like, we want to do well. Obviously, it comes from a place of like wanting to do your best, but it can hold you back in a lot of ways. When you're talking about how people can get in touch with you or resources that you have for organizations that are interested in being like, is perfectionism what's holding us back? What can you share with our viewers and listeners today?
Yeah, in terms of resources?
Yes.
So I have a quick quiz on my website, like, are you a perfectionist, which is more focused on the individual level. I've been a guest on a lot of podcasts, so you can just Google my name and you can hear more about perfectionism. I've written a lot of articles about it. So again, there's not a whole lot of Vitales running around. So you can find those resources. And I also do a lot of, obviously, keynote speaking, webinars, those sorts of things. So you can find resources there. Also, my LinkedIn page, Vitale Buford Hardin, and my website, which is the hardingroup.co. So .co, not .com. .com won't sell it to me.
Somebody else already owns that one.
I know, they won't let it go. So.
Well, you know what? Like you said, we're going to let go of the perfectionism, but .co is perfectly normal for a website. But Vitale, when you're thinking about organizations that can benefit from working with you or individuals who can benefit from working with you, what types of people do you serve, or is it a wide range?
It's honestly a wide range. It's not industry specific. I work with healthcare clients and retail clients and insurance clients and hospitality entertainment industry clients. So it really spans industries. Now there are different, there are unique things about each industry. So obviously different vocabulary, different things, terms that we use. but it impacts all different industries and leaders, individual contributors, people leaders, the C-suite, both men and women, or those that identify as men and women. And so it's honestly, if it's impacting 92% of people, it's impacting our workplace. And as we know, 85% of workplaces. And so, any size industry, any type of person, it's just the tactics that we use, the way we teach it, those sorts of things differ.
Yeah. And one of the things I want to kind of jump all the way back to kind of the beginning of the interview, you said that it's the perfectionism in the workplace has been growing. It's been expanding. Is there reasons for that? Or are there things that you think are contributing to that?
I don't know, obviously, facts around that, but the stories that I would tell around that are that, the pandemic made us more human than ever. And so I think people there's also just a higher level of awareness and consciousness collectively in the world. And so the things that people used to deal with are things that people are not willing to deal with anymore. People want to have a quality of life. I feel like that is a higher priority. And so the perfectionism, I believe, that has always existed is now people are saying, I'm not going to do this anymore. Yeah. Right. This is actually impacting my life, my family, the things that I love to do, my life outside of work. And so I just think that there's an overall need for that. Also, the hybrid workforce is actually the group that struggles the most. So I looked at the data, hybrid versus fully remote versus fully in person. And hybrid workforces are struggling the most with perfectionism because they have to be both things, right? They have to be on when they're in person and on when they're fully remote or when they're remote. And so we're in a stage where a lot of our workplaces are hybrid. And so I'd say that's also a struggle too. But I would say that it's just people are at a greater level of awareness.
Yeah, I think that kind of goes hand in hand. Like you said, especially that remote workforce, we're seeing a lot of struggles or growing pains, I guess, as we are still trying to figure out that realm. But Vitale, it's been so great to have you on the podcast.
Yeah.
Before I let you go, is there anything else that our viewers and listeners need to know about you or about your business?
Yeah. I think that when you hear the perfectionism stuff, I don't say those data and the statistics to scare people. It's really an opportunity to do something different and be more competitive as a business for your, talent attraction and retention plans and initiatives, and just growing a more engaging, productive, successful workforce. So thanks for having me today, Sarah.
Yeah, Vitale, thank you so much for your time.
Chris Knockelman with Schneller Knockelman Plumbing, Heating, and Air. It's spring now, but before you know it, our ACs are working overtime.
Dave, it's going to be warm soon.
Right now is a good time to get the AC serviced, right?
You can get your AC tuned up for only $59.
So get your $59 tune-up at
SKPHA.com. SKPHA. So if your plumbing and mechanical systems give you trouble, just remember our name, Schneller Knockelman.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed learning more about Bear Farms and the Hardin Group on today's episode of the podcast. Thank you once again to our podcast sponsors, CVG, C Crew Consulting, and Schneller Knockelman. Like I said, there's still time to register for Investing in Equity, Building an Inclusive Business Community. That's our third annual DEI Summit happening on Thursday, June 6th. Like I said, you can register at nkychamber.com/events, and we would love to see you there. Finally, if you are a member who'd like to be featured on the podcast, or if you're someone who is interested in joining the Northern Kentucky Chamber of Commerce, please reach out to Lynn Ablin. And if you're someone who is interested in sharing your workforce strategies and resources on NKY at Work, please reach out to Nancy Spivey. You can find their contact information on the screen in front of you if you are a viewer, or our listeners can find that information at our staff directory at nkychamber.com. Thanks again for tuning in. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and I'll talk to you next week.